The following game has no ESRB rating, nor is there any sort of listing for restrictive content found within the game. I do know from playing the game myself that it does contain some violent encounters, including fighting various machines, people, and animals. There is also some bloodshed, but nothing I would consider gory or excessive. So, while viewer discretion is of course advised, were I to guess, if it were to have been given an ESRB rating, I would say that at the very least it would have been rated teen, if not mature. So, that being said, definitely anyone under the age of 13 should not be watching this video. You have been warned. Greetings and salutations, I am Outlier and I bid you welcome to this channel. Joining me today is of course my usual co-hosts, Snowball and Wolf. And today we're returning back to Empyrion Galactic Survival. No, that's a different game. Technically, both at the same time, he wasn't all that close in his guess, and simultaneously being rather close. So, the premise of Empyrion Galactic Survival is that it's an open-world survival game where you have to survive in an alien wilderness, wandering around, collecting resources as well as food and no, actually it's just food. You don't really have to worry about water, which is, I guess, a key aspect that they kind of neglected, but at the same time, given its setting, may or may not make sense. Well, yes, that's what I mean by when I say that he was close. Now, it's in a lot of games similar to another game that I've played entitled Ark Survival Evolved, which I think is more well known and, I guess, more popular. But the main key difference between Empyrion Galactic Survival and Ark Survival Evolved is that in Ark, while you're building bases and taming dinosaurs and riding them around to fight other people and gather resources, in Empyrion Galactic Survival, while there are dinosaurs, yes, they're only your food supply. You don't actually tame anything, and in lieu of that, you actually build spaceships and hover tanks. And very big spaceships. So it's a game that I do enjoy playing. It's not one that I play regularly, for lack of a better term. It is a game that I'll pick up, play, and then stop. And then eventually I'll come back around and go back to playing it again. And if you've been following close enough with this channel, you would have already known that I have already made one episode of this game. Now, we are not continuing on from where we left off from there. So instead, we're starting over. Technically yes, but still no. The reason for that is that the developers have come out with a new update for the game, their version 1.5, which actually changes a lot of the opening pieces around, so much to the point where pretty much everything that happened in the last episode, landing on an alien planet, finding a comms beacon, getting it up and running, and then having to fight off a couple enemies, that, while does still generally happen, doesn't happen that exact same way, and it's different enough to the point where I feel like making a new video of the opening. So I'm going to be starting a new file to show off exactly what the new changes are. And as such, this game is of course made by... Thank you again. And that being said, let us begin. Alright, so let's start a new game. I like playing in survival just simply because I like doing, well, all the survival aspects of this game. I do sometimes go into creative for certain reasons, most notably if, I had this major building project that I wanted to do just to, build. Or if I have an issue with a blueprint that I made in a prior variant, which no longer works now, I would use creative to troubleshoot things and do mass construction. But most of the time, I enjoy survival because for me, part of the fun is building. The other part is harvesting the resources needed to build things. So let's start off with a new game. Alright, and since I technically didn't actually delete the old file yet, we'll go with Outlier 2 for this one. Let's change the difficulty settings, simply because, well, I like everything to be normal. I do technically like having the constraint of CPU points and block limit for certain devices, so I can't strap on 1,000 guns onto something and just destroy everything. And the CPU points do make for some interesting means of construction. What I don't like is having mass volume active, because that means you can only carry so much stuff in your suit and pockets and storage containers. And there are some things that I can build with, especially later on in the game, like warp drives, which are needed to travel to other planets and to gather more advanced resources to build more advanced things. The volume for that piece alone exceeds the general suit volume of your personal carrying capacity. And while there are larger suits with larger carrying capacities, you don't actually have the ability to build them. So finding said suits is really a matter of luck and the whim of the random number gods. So I like having volume off because it inhibits construction. I will keep everything mostly normal. However, one few things that I will change is that I will increase the amount of ore per deposit, just simply because I like having access to more ore, and I have found, at least very, very early on, and back when it was still in early access, in Alpha 5, I was building this massive, major starship and ended up consuming an entire planet's worth of iron, and still needing more. So in addition to having rich ore deposits, I'm also going to increase the number of them and also turn off auto miner depletion. So that way the auto miners, which are these remote mining devices that you just basically set up on an ore deposit, fill it with gas and walk away, and then come back once it's full, won't actually deplete the ore deposit that it's situated on. Now normally I probably would enjoy the fact that it would actually consume the entire deposit itself, but part of the reason why I'm turning to false is because, as I just said, back in Alpha 5 I believe it was, I was building a massive ship, consumed the entire starting planet's worth of iron, and the only way I was able to actually complete it was by setting up a whole bunch of auto miners on the moon orbiting the starter planet and just getting an infinite amount of iron from there. So because that's a habit, I'm turning this to false, but everything else I will keep, well, as it is. Also, increase the planet size to large. Now, unfortunately, I can't change the planet name. I can change the planet. This is randomly generated, although I'm not certain if the seed determines the name of the planet. I should look into that. But, I mean, Vawu is slightly pronounceable, unlike the planet that I started on to actually test to see what the changes were. I forget its name, but I'm fairly certain it wasn't all that pronounceable. Just a series of weird vowels, and well, not weird vowels. They were English alphabet vowels and consonants, but they weren't in any way that was easily pronounceable. So anyway, I do enjoy starting on a temperate planet, just simply because that's what I'm used to. And it has lakes, swamps, deep forests, oceans, vast open plains, are the geographical characteristics of this temperate planet. It has a multitude of mountain ranges with snow-capped peaks, some formed by volcanic activity, others by glacial flow. The climate is moderate and the atmosphere is breathable. It's part of the reason why I enjoy a temperate planet, because you can breathe without the need for bottled O2. And I can change starting locations. I can switch to an arid planet, which does not contain a breathable environment, and is a little bit more hostile to human life. There's also a swamp planet, which is actually breathable. But apparently it's only for advanced players because it's a breeding ground for dangerous creatures. And again, there's also a snow planet, which you can freeze to death on quite easily, but it does also contain a breathable atmosphere. And then it's back to temperate. Now, just simply by choosing this planet doesn't mean I won't have access to any of the others. Empyrion Galactic Survival isn't limited to just one world or currently one solar system. The premise, at least the storyline premise, is that you're part of an expedition that travels to the faraway Andromeda Galaxy. Problem is, stuff happens and you get separated, which we'll see as we start the tutorial. But as I was saying, you're not limited to just this planet. I can actually build a small spaceship, or not even a small spaceship. I can build quite a large spaceship, leave the atmosphere of this planet, and travel to either other planets, or I think if I get a large enough capital vessel equipped with a warp drive, even travel to other star systems. Not that I've actually tried yet. I haven't actually gotten around to playing this game that far. As I said, it's a game that I keep playing and then stop periodically and then pick back up, but every so often the developers come out with a new major update for it, and I feel the need to start over, so never really seen the end game. But anyway, that's a moot point for not right now, so let's start. I think I did once find a crashed Hakon-class vessel under the water. Except there was a base variant and not the capital vessel variant. Still kind of cool though. Alright, so here we are. Now, once again, it's still the standard drop pod or escape pod. Thing is, nowadays I can't actually control where it lands. Oh, it does make a nice, neat crater now. And here we are. So, emergency life support assistant, emergency situation detected. Protocol UCH001A has been initialized. Proceed. Ship status, destroyed due to malfunction in the engine system. I'm not certain if it's the ship we were on or this thing. Current situation, crashed on an unknown planet. Pilot status, successfully abandoned ship and escape pod. So it's not the escape pod. Pilot health, low but stable. Integrated data assistant, IDA. Currently rebooting. Emergency life support assistant activated. Let's proceed. Injury detected. Open personal status view panel tab. Injury detected. Broken leg. Reduced walking speed. Permanent stamina drain. Requiring medical treatment bandages. Activate the survival constructor on the top right for show available recipes. Hovering over the recipes in the survival constructor reveals their ingredients. Resources required in inventory. Fiber. Not available. Device required for collecting fiber. Survivor tool. Not available. Searching. Survival tool detected nearby. Search the area around the escape pod, find and pick up the survival tool. Now, why it actually I need to find the survivor tool, I'm not quite certain. I mean, I know why I need to find the survival tool, because the tutorial said so. In fact, it's right there, right at my feet. But if I check the survival constructor, I can actually build a new one for absolutely no resources required. So let's pick this up, as well as this flashlight, because I'm going to need the flashlight. And so survival tool has 3 basic modes: defense, resource, and salvage. Modes can be switched by pressing the right mouse button, and use the tool by using the left mouse button. Do you want to know more? I mean, yes, but for video purposes, but I kind of already know how everything goes, so I'm on the clock, so no. Closing file. Select the toolbar from the tool menu, toolbar slot from the tool menu, and collect plant protein from plants by pressing F, and harvest fiber from small trees by pointing at them and shooting the left mouse button once the cursor turns red. So right now it's actually in defensive mode, so I fire it off like that, and it's laser capable of harming, well, enemies. Go to salvage mode, and it's a green laser that it can use to take apart things for resources. What I want is resource mode, which basically allows me to cut into the ground and nowadays harvest trees, which it wasn't able to do originally, I believe, at least not in this mode. Alright, so now that I have some plant fiber, not letting me do anything else, so I hit tab and select construct bandage. Requires both plant protein and plant fibers. And now that I have it, I need to use it. And I've since used it. And the next one's initializing, and Ida has finished booting up, so the survival AI goes back to sleep, and Ida takes over. Ida. I'm going to call you Ida. Welcome back, Commander. Glad to see you're alive. We've had incredible luck being dragged into the Titan's warp vortex and coming out alive in one piece. I'm currently trying to re-establish communication with the Operation Phoenix fleet. This will take a few minutes. In the meantime, I've been storing our sensor data and event log since our escape from Apollon Station in the Empyrion Journey book. Press F1. Please open PDA F1 to start synchronizing the data tables. Affirmative. Wrong button. This is just the tutorial to teach people how this page is. So the Personal Data Assistant, PDA, not only keeps track of available missions in the progress, but also offers Journey Book, which is tracking your story project, and the Empyrionopedia, which is an encyclopedia of names, creatures, vessels, features, and more. In case you missed or overlooked a message, you can review them later in PDA log. Use the button in the top right. Simply click a headline in the list on the left, for example, landing procedure. See all messages logged for that mission. Exit PDA when you familiarize yourself with the overview. Is your main source for information in case you're curious about something. So the Journey book is basically the storyline, the story of the game. And the Empyrionopedia teaches you all the basic game mechanics and has a brief description about the various factions found in-game. Some of them are actually new for this update. I mean, the UHC, which is the organization you're from, I think had a presence and then didn't have a presence, and now I think it has a presence again. The Talon, Xerax, and Polaris had presence or in the game since, well, I started playing in Alpha 5. Cruel Empire is, well, not new. Hasn't been in since Alpha 5. I think they added it right before version 1. As well as the Pirate Clans, although the Traders Guild and the Tesk Collective and Free Colonists, as well as the Void and DECS, I believe are all new. As is Warlords. Legacy, I think, is a new faction per se, although it's been in the game. Legacy is basically everything that tries to kill you that's not part of a standard faction. At least it was, so I don't know if that's changed yet. Haven't really looked into it. Then solo missions, we'll get into them once the tutorial is done. So press F1 to close that. Commander, the night is coming and you also need something to eat. I've analyzed the nearby plants. Most of them should be edible. Look how it's most of them should be, not these plants are edible. So first collect some plant protein and craft an energy bar. The recipe is available in your survival constructor and the status overview panel. Understood. So, just, can I not collect these? Could have sworn this had plant protein in it. Anyway, so let's harvest this rock. Another thing that's new is, if you remember from prior episode, well, from the prior episode I made of this, when I used the Resource Collector Survival Constructor, the survival tool, I ended up having to pick off all the rocks that I basically broke apart. Of course, this one I can pick up the plant protein from. Alright, I have absolutely no idea if... Yeah, so that one's just weird for some strange reason. Anyway, I am going to need iron, and these rocks are well filled with iron. So, I do need to craft an energy bar, so let's continue that so that way we can proceed on with the tutorial. Energy bar made. Guessing eat energy bar. You know, it would be nice if the tutorial things popped up here, but this is an interface now, so I guess that's me. And then the tutorial updates. So, Ida, Commander, my efforts to re-establish communication with the fleet have failed, but I am tracking a weak signal of a UCH beacon nearby. First, you need to craft a detector in your survival constructor, and I did see those dinosaurs wandering past. Just going to help myself to this iron, and this tree, and this rock. And I have reached level 2, I have 10 upgrade points, I will get to that later. Anyway, what was I doing? Oh, detector, craft. So for the detector, I don't actually need any input items. So much like the survival tool, I basically make that for free. Just wait for that to get done. Keep harvesting trees and other things. Because at this point, in order to survive, I need to pretty much grab everything that I can get my grubby little mittens on. So drag and drop the detector from Survival Constructor output to a free slot in your toolbar and select it. So plop this here. And now that I have it in inventory, it shows all these red lines and dashes. So the large red lines tell me the direction of something I don't actually know of or haven't discovered yet. And the small little dashes, I believe, to denote how many things are in that general direction. If I really wanted to know, I select the detector and fire it off. And it tells me everything in the general vicinity, and that red thing is hostile, which means it's probably a spider nest, which isn't something I had to deal with when I was testing this out earlier. So Ida, the signal seems to originate from damaged comm station close to our crash site. I've added a yellow marker on your screen and radar to follow. You should go there, as you might find more information there. Hold shift to run. This will deplete your stamina, though. So I'll just grab every little bit of spare resource I can get along the way. Could have sworn I heard something. I think it's just because I have the audio piping through the headphones, which I don't normally do when I'm not filming, so... Things do sound slightly different, but relatively the same. Alright, so the damaged comm station is 1.4 miles that way. And I've discovered the damaged comm station. Even though it's still 1.3 miles that way. Well, I'm gathering every rock even if it doesn't have resources that I need in it. Just simply because if I get a massive hoard of crushed stone, the survival constructors, and technically any constructor, can turn said stone into the base resources that the base ores that I need. So if I need, say, iron or copper or silicon, it can actually take, and I don't have any of those, it can actually take the crushed stone that I have in inventory and make said ore. Now, as far as I know, it can't do that with the more advanced resources, but, you know, you've got to figure by the time you get to the advanced resources, you probably have enough of the basic resources that, I see you guys there, that you probably don't need to make more of the base ores at that point. So now the alien insects, I believe, usually leave you alone. But if they start chasing towards you, like, say, this guy right here, I take that as a threat, and I'm assuming they're going to try to kill me. So, just start wailing away on it, and eventually it dies. So, plus, they are worth meat, so if you don't have a farm set up yet, it's one source of food, I guess. So I'm just going to take care of these guys real quick because they are on the way and I don't know if they're going to be a problem later on. And I am now level 3 and I get 15 unlock points. More on that later. Right, and they are running... What is that? They are running away, so I'm assuming they're not going to be hostile. But I'm going to help myself to this iron, and if I get attacked, then I guess I get attacked. And this rock has silicon in it, so that's useful. Not as much as iron, but still needed. Alright, this is just a chunk of metal just sitting around, so it's just some random wreckage. Which, given the size of this, I'm assuming is mostly underground. Oh look, a copper bearing stone. And a stone bearing stone. You get 13 crushed stone from that. Oh, I heard something. Ah, some buds. Interesting. And a very large stone pillar. So it seems to be a console inside the shelter. Find it and activate it with F. Alright, so if anybody remembers what happened the last time, this eventually exploded and led to a fight with some drones. That's no longer the case. So failure to boot console, error 101, power save mode activated. Power save mode active. Really should read what's there. Error 108, internal storage files damaged. Connect IDA to console. Running system diagnostics. Completed. The internal storage is still available, and I found a few indices that date back nearly a year. I am not able to download their content as long as the console is in power save mode. You need to rebuild some devices and add them to the station so we can power it up again. Before we start working on the station, you set up camp. Collect some fiber and craft a survival tent. Understood. Alright, so just head back to the survival constructor, and I actually have plenty of fiber in my pocket, so let's just build that. As well as more energy bars, because the character's hungry. Alright, now we wait for that to happen. Is this a tree with berries? No, it's not. Okay. Sometimes it's hard to tell which of those trees has berries and which doesn't. Alright, so let's just grab this tree. So move the survival tent to your free slot in your tool ball and find a suitable place to use it. Alright, so picked up, I want to say, some logs chopping that massive tree down. Oh look, more copper. I swear these rocks just simply auto-spawn when I'm not looking. I mean, I'm not complaining, or at the very least I shouldn't be complaining about it. It's simply because, at least until I can get a mining vehicle built and running, It's my primary source of resources. I mean, yes, I could go digging down by hand, but that takes time, effort, a level of patience I just don't much care for anymore. Also, now I can remove these bone thingies. Even if it doesn't actually get me anything other than experience. I will, however, take this rock. And this tree. Alright, so I now have a tent. I should place the tent. Put this out there, move that around. And I should be putting it in the bar, so... I think this is the front. Now, developers did change a couple of the tents. They didn't really change a couple of the tents. The tent still works fine. It's just they gave it a couple more skins. So it has woodland camo now, as well as desert camo, in addition to being just the standard survival tent. I am technically in sort of the forest, so I guess the woodland camo is more on theme, so let's have that variant. So press F to sleep for 8 hours. Game time. It's not 8 hours. What will pass for 8 hours? So I think the day and night cycles around 12 to 15 in-game or in real life minutes. It doesn't jump 8 hours worth of that, so it's not going to jump like 4 or 5 days. But here's what I'm talking about volume. Right now, just carrying all this little amount of stuff, technically 100 crushed stone is not little, but just carrying this amount already puts me over the volume limit. So if I had that on, I wouldn't be able to carry all this stuff. Anyway, access the tech tree. So this is the tech tree. Go to the miscellaneous tab and scroll down to portable constructor. So when I was testing this out, I just unlocked the portable constructor upon my whim without realizing that I needed to do so as part of the tutorial. Also unlock the portable heater and cooler as well. Now, having discovered that, I ended up having issues where I couldn't proceed the storyline. So if you do that, you can actually go to the tutorial and select which version of, well, if, like say, I already had one built and I didn't need to build another one, I could flag this as completed and it'll automatically move on. I don't want to manually complete it because, unlike last time, I didn't make a mistake and I can just build one myself. That's easy. When I was testing this game out, I had already built a portal constructor before getting to this point, so I decided why not just build a second one, and I found I actually liked having two, so I'm building two now. At least I will eventually build two. It does take quite a bit of time. "81 seconds to be exact, actually. So we just hit here in 60 degrees centigrade weather. No, it's set to Fahrenheit. I guess that's, well, I mean, 60 degrees Celsius. Well, I'm not certain exactly how it translates into Fahrenheit. I believe 60 is ridiculously hot. Just simply because I've watched other people on the YouTube who use the Celsius metric, and they talk about how it's like 30 degrees centigrade or 35 degrees centigrade, and talk about how it's ridiculously warm. So I'm assuming 60 degrees centigrade would be ridiculously hot. So that's 60 degrees Fahrenheit, even though it does still say C. Anyway, portable constructor is done. So move that to my pockets and that to the toolbar, and then plop that down. And then pick it back up because I want to orient it this way just because I can. Alright, first thing I should do with the portable constructor is craft a better weapon. Press the tech tree again. And go to the weapons tab. And I start with the ability to produce a projectile pistol. But let's actually unlock the shotgun and the assault rifle as well, just simply because they're the 3 basic weapons. And now I need to craft the pistol. So this just explains how the portable constructor works. Construction works in general. So basically, I move all of my resources into the portable constructor, at least those that I wanted to build things, and then I can select anything that I want to build. And unlike, well, originally where I had to build each individual component separately to build the thing that I needed to or that I wanted to build, the portable constructor, which technically hasn't really done this in quite a while, has been doing this for quite a while, I should say, just does it automatically, and it will constantly build all the little pieces that you need. So for the tutorial, I need a projectile pistol and 2 things of ammunition. But because I also like having them, let's put in an assault rifle and 2 things of ammunition, as well as a shotgun and 2 things of ammunition there. As well as I just now noticed it starts unlocked, but also the chainsaw, which does require biofuel to make. Well, not to make, to run. Biofuel's right there. And I also have a second portable constructor, which, because it takes forever and a day, and I can make lots of it, put the wood logs in here and just have it produce biofuel. Which, up until I get a readily available access to Promethium, is my primary fuel source. Not primary fuel source, it's my only fuel source. So, move that there because it helps with survivability, and I actually need some ore real quick, because I also wanted to build a portable water/O2 condenser, which I can't do from these portable constructor glues. So, you now have the basic constructor, which will allow you to craft all devices necessary for rebuilding and powering the comm station. For some reason I keep thinking that says corn. Yes, because corn is so important. Anyway, as well as a basic weapon to defend yourself. For activating the station, you need to craft the following: a small generator, a fuel tank, and a core. So, a small generator to power the station, a fuel tank to fuel the generator, and a core to make everything work together. Alright, so since it's 15 seconds to sundown, let's actually sleep for 8 hours. Yeah, so now it's 4 minutes and 15 seconds till dawn. But on the plus side, all my guns are built, as well as the chainsaw. So I need a core, which is over here, which I can't build because I don't have enough resources to do so. I think I need more silicon. Yeah, I need 5 computers and 3 optical cables, of which the computers require optical fiber and electronics. The optical fiber requires silicon, the electronics require copper and silicon. I have a small amount of copper remaining. Actually, I do have some silicon ingots right there, but I guess it's not enough. Also, the thing of meat that I had spoiled. So let's reorganize the inventory real quick. The survival tool goes in slot 9. The flashlight goes in slot 3. Detector goes in slot 7. The assault rifle goes in 1, shotgun in 2, and the pistol in 3. And the chainsaw I will put in 6. Also, since it's nighttime, it's colder now, so since I've built this, let's actually get the O2 condenser out. Let's put up the portable heater and cooler, so this helps regulate temperature. So as you see in the temperature, went from 48 degrees Fahrenheit, or temperature units back to 77, and now everything's fine. And if I put the water O2 condenser down, if I was on a planet that didn't have a breathable atmosphere, I could put this down, grab some biofuel, put it in here, and it would start producing O2 and water. Alright, so let's load all my guns. As well as fuel the chainsaw. If I can remember which button I need to press. Alright, so I need to go looking for some more silicon. Also, extra plant protein wouldn't hurt. Okay, so while the survivor tool automatically puts the logs in my inventory, the chainsaw does not. Good to know. Also, if I can't find the massive pile of silicon I'm probably going to need for this, I can always just chop down or harvest the standard rocks to get enough crushed stone to build it for me. Leave this tree alone just in case on the off chance it ends up being something that produces berries. Unfortunately, I don't have a suit of armor on, so I have no built-in light. So the only light I have access to is either the ambient lighting or this flashlight. But if I'm holding the flashlight, I can't hold anything else. Used to be, I think some of the weapons came with a built-in flashlight, but I guess even the basic ones don't anymore. That or it's just a multi-tool, I'm just confusing things. Alright, so this is a silicon-bearing rock. So I get 3 silicon ore from that, which is usually useful. However, in order to actually make any ingots, I need 5. So I need 1 more, or technically 2 more ore. Or, technically, 30 crushed stone, because the constructor can take... that's more copper. But anyway, as I was saying, constructor can take 15 crushed stone and turn it into 1 ore of the iron, copper, or silicon variety. So that's practically all the crushed stone that I would have needed. Got some more copper. Of course, that's assuming I only need 10 units of silicon ore. It makes... for 5 ore, it makes 10 ingots, so... you do get a ratio of 2 to 1 with it, but that's basically standard for, well, everything. So anyway, more logs in here, make more biofuel. This here, that there, and this there. And can I make a core now? Yes, I can. So, this is the construction queue of things that I'm ordering. This is the construction queue of everything that it's making to make this thing. So, it does it in order of the various parts, so it's making the various key parts for it, and then it's going to make the silicon ore, make the silicon, technically it's also making copper ingots, and the silicon ingots, and then all the electronics, and then the computers, because I guess I already have all the other pieces, and the optical fiber, and then once it's done everything here, it'll actually build this. Meantime, this has produced 2 small O2 bottles and 1 purified water. Which doesn't help with food, but it does restore stamina. In the meantime, Make more energy bars. Also, I need to build a fuel tank and a generator, neither of which I have unlocked. Okay, now this is going to be a slight problem because it takes 4 points to unlock the small generator, and also 4 points to unlock, no, 2 points. No, it requires 4. I have 2. So, can't unlock the fuel tank because I need more unlock points, which I get by going up in level, and I need quite a bit more to get to level 4. 3, 4? Yeah, I think I'm level 3 now. So, and now I basically do that by, well, doing anything, technically. So, what was that? So let's head over this way. And chop down this tree. Alright, so I get 50 experience points for doing that. And then I pick up 5 logs. Get 3 plant fibers and pick up an extra 50 experience for that. It's probably easier, at least for the plant fibers, just to use the survival tool. And I basically need to keep doing that until I can get to level 4 and gain more experience. Alright, it wants me to go to the wreckage. I forgot about that part. But since it's dark out, let me keep harvesting the trees until the sun comes up. Just simply because I always seem to need more wood. Well, no, I don't really seem to need more wood. I always seem to need more fuel. And right now, as I said, biofuel is my primary source of fuel. Well, not primary, it's my only source of fuel. And biofuel comes from plant fiber, which comes from wood, technically. Now, I'm not 100% certain, but I think if I use the chainsaw, I end up getting more logs. I'm not so certain about the, because I keep getting like 11, 6, and 9, but when I used the survival tool, I think I was getting like 3 to 5. Alright, so the core's done. Just to organize my ammo that way. Alright, I'm impatient, so let's sleep again. Alright, now we have 4 minutes until sunset. Technically 4.5. So let's head out this way. Chunks of wreckage. That was worrisome. Just grab everything as I run past. Here's the escape pod again. Now I can grab that. Now, it actually got me 100 experience points, so grabbing the plant proteins... Actually, that's the one that's all weird. But apparently grabbing the plant proteins getting me more experience points than chopping down trees, so... Also, more experience than harvesting ore, so... I guess theoretically I should run around and grab as much plant protein and other plants as I can grab. Or get, I should say. I mean, it's not like I don't need the plant protein. I mean, every 2 things of plant protein I can grab is 1 more energy bar that I can make. Yeah, pick up 11 things of wood and it's still only 50 experience points. Alright, check the wreckage for anything of interest, like containers or personal containers. Take anything you find with you. Probably really should say everything. Alright, so this is actually different, and I've reached level 4, just by finding this thing. So it's a different thing of wreckage than the one I had while testing it out. This one actually has a door. Neat. Anyway, personal cargo box. So it gets me a motorbike, steel plates and computers. Probably should have realized that this was here. I mean, I completely forgot about it after the testing, and I basically stopped testing and then started filming, but yeah. So this had would have given me enough pieces to actually build the core, but you always have intermediate stuff. So now that I have this thing, not this thing. You actually come here. It's time to play with the salvage, salvage because I need to salvage 41 steel plates. And that actually gets me 3 glass plates. So I start with 25 after picking it up from the personal storage. Now, one thing that I'm doing is I'm stripping out these lower areas to get this to fall, and then once it's broken and all that fun stuff, I basically pick up what's left and I get, well, more stuff faster. So I'm now at 55 steel plate. So deploy the motorbike, which until you can get an actual hover vehicle is a slightly faster means of transportation. I'm just going to grab this fiber real quick. And this fiber real quick. And whatever this is. Herbal leaves. Going to grab that. And then because I left the motorbike behind, because while driving the bike you don't have your hands free, I'm going to go back to where the comm station is. And since I have a bike now as opposed to walking, I can move faster. Although, again, can't really pick anything up. Alright, to capture a station or to make other devices like generators, turrets, even doors work, you need to place a core. So this is the tutorial on how to build base. Well, technically not the tutorial on how to build bases. That's a separate tutorial for later. But this gives you an explanation as to what the core is and why it's so important. So the core is basically everything. Well, the core, I wouldn't say everything, but the core is important to the point where... And see, this is what I mean by skipping steps. So it wants me to craft a core, but I forgot about that completely, and I already have a core. So I can actually flag that manually as having completed, and then it moves on to the next step, which is to place the core. So I have the core with me right here, and I probably should actually put this in a better spot than, say, right here. For some reason, it's not letting me be flush with this thing. But the reason for that is that the core is the sole thing that identifies an object as yours. So everything, hover vehicles, small flying vessels, large capital vessels, bases, anything that you can build requires a core. And so long as your core is there, the item, no matter how badly damaged it is, no matter how broken it is still flagged as yours. But if the core is destroyed, it's no longer flagged as yours, and if somebody else comes in and puts their core into your thing becomes their thing. So anyway, this is the control panel. This is the primary, I wouldn't say primary interface, it's the master interface. So it basically gives you the ability to turn things on and off relatively easily. Tells you which of the main categories or even customized categories is receiving power. Gives you a basic idea of how much oxygen, fuel, and pentaxid, which are the three fuel resources available to everything, how much is in there, or at least how much the item or construct or object has in storage, as well as how much ammunition, if it has one of those, if it has a shield, and how much shield power is left, and its current power rating. And since it doesn't have a generator, it's flagged at 0 power units. You can also see a list of all your devices. If something's critical is missing, it'll be flagged right here. Signal logic does stuff. CPU statistics, if you have access to, well, if you have CPU turned on, which I do, this tells you how many CPU points you're currently using, how many CPU points you're currently using, a breakdown of how much is using what CPU, as well as the tier of CPU usage. So everything does have a tier of CPU usage, and at the base core I get 80,000 I should say CPU. That's just for the base. Other types of things have different allotments, and while this may seem a lot, you start building something relatively big, and that eats it up rather quickly. I mean, a standard base that I usually build usually requires more than what the CPU Tier 1 or even the Tier 2 has, or can offer. But as you gain more stuff and research better technologies, you can build upgrades to the CPU in forms of extenders, and which allow you to upgrade the tiers, which give you more CPU points. And also, if you have more CPU, if your thing, in this case the base, uses more CPU points than what the core and expansions tiers have to offer, it wouldn't be a case that everything just shuts down or you can't put it down. It just uses it at a lesser efficiency. So I think if I had built a base that had a tier 1 CPU but used 160,000 CPU points, I think I would actually be at an efficiency level of 0, that or 50%. I don't actually remember, but the higher you go over the CPU threshold, the less efficiency you have. But now this broken and busted comm station is seen as mine. But now I need to unlock and build these small generators, which I already unlocked them. But now I need to build them, and they are over here. So I don't have enough computers because I didn't put the stuff that I found into the portable constructor yet. So I can make a small generator as well as a fuel tank. And I can also eat an energy bar. Stick the wood in there. Make more biofuel. Yeah, all the inventory is being taken up by biofuel. Oh, access the tech tree. Forgot about that. Go to base. Yeah, this basically explains unlocking things. So, and then I need to craft a small generator and fuel tank, which I am technically doing. I mean, the generator's already technically built. So that's flagged now. Must have just gotten finished as I had moved on to that step. Now the timing bar does sometimes get out of sync with how it actually is. If you open and close it, I guess that's a bug they haven't really fixed yet. So move to the small generator, put the small generator in the free tool spot. And I need to place them. And now it's also giving me a small instruction where if I press N to the debug screen, I believe it is. Oh, no, it's debug screen. I can flag connect to damaged comm station, and I can put this anywhere, and it would consider part of this base. Whereas if I had that to off, it would need to be physically, placed physically connected to it. So I couldn't put it here anymore, which I could before when, this was flagged on. Connect not available. Now it's flagged on. I can put this now wherever I want and it would still work. But I like having everything connected to physically, so let's put the generator there, even though it's technically floating in the middle of the air, because the game still works like that. And put the fuel tank directly underneath of it. Now I can fill it with fuel, which is part of the reason why I make so much biofuel. Alright, sun is setting. So now conventional generators require fuel tanks to be filled with biofuel. Small large energy cells or fusion cells access the portable constructor, which I technically already did. Craft one biofuel from various components. And it's technically already crafting biofuel. I mean, I have over 103 biofuel just sitting here. Alright, and there we go. So then we open up the control panel, and if I go back to the main screen, I can go to fuel and manage, and I'm able to, without actually accessing the fuel tanks directly, put in however much fuel I can fit. Every fuel tank does have a maximum allotment. The larger the fuel tank, the bigger the allotment. And I can also withdraw fuel if I want. However, due to how they program the game, if I were to withdraw the fuel, rather than it being biofuel, it comes out as these fuel packs, which, I mean, it gives the same amount of fuel as the ref equivalent of biofuel. It's still 1,200 points, but, I can't say put in just 10 and withdraw. I mean, I guess I could put in just 10. How much biofuel does the points 10... Right, so, yeah, I misread that. The fuel pack gets me 30 fuel points, and it only pulls them out based off of the fuel pack Prometheus, based off of multiples of 30. So if I had used one fuel point, I wouldn't be able to pull out 1,200 units of fuel. It would be like 1,170, and then it'd be 29 units of fuel left. But anyway, now that that's all in there, I can flick the power thing and turn it all on. So the generator starts running, everything lights up, and for storyline purposes, the console starts being powered. So loading operating system, please do not shut down while in progress. Session restored. Loading last message, success. The message is fragmented. Display content anyway. Continue. August 2nd, 2473. UCH PID 19893-M. The something is lost. Something survived. Make contact with the Talon in a nearby village. The Xerax are on our heels. We need to avoid running into their drones and something until they lose interest. A temporary camp near something. I am afraid of our something vessels were shot down. Something crashed, something not far away. We plan to something. If this plan fails, I advise every other survivor to go find one of the Talon villages. These guys helped us to survive and might help you as well. End of message. Any additional logs available? I'm afraid this is all of it. All the other logs were either destroyed or heavily fragmented. Commander, there might be something wrong about even this log. The timestamp of the message is of tomorrow. And at the same time, the log file indicates that it was created 1 year ago. That does not add up at all. Possible reasons. The log was clearly made by someone from the UCH with a personal ID of 19893-M. That actual number was different, I think, when I played before. I validated the ID, but without access to the UCH fleet database, I cannot find out who is behind that ID. Nevertheless, we can be quite sure that a vessel from Operation Phoenix fleet crashed here for yet unknown reasons. We can assume that those Xerox might have something to do with it. If it was a fight or technical trouble, cannot be said for sure. I assume that it might have happened in combat, as this could also be the reason why no one else is here. Neither the Titan nor anyone else in the fleet. They have probably moved on or escaped. But the timestamp is indeed strange. It could possibly explain scientific reason why we did not arrive at the same day as the fleet. We were not fully enclosed by the Titan's warp vortex. Some gravitational instabilities have affected us similar to the time dilation effects near a black hole. Another more obvious reason could be that, due to the damage of the station and the console, timestamp and the log entries are simply damaged and faulty. Any advice? Either way, we have to find more info. We need to find the small settlement of the Talon. The message indicates that those people might know more about what happened to the survivor. They left the message here. I will set a marker on your HUD. Before we leave, I strongly suggest you unlock the assault rifle and or the shotgun from the tech tree and craft them in a portable constructor. I already did that, and that's not a tutorial objective. In fact, I believe the tutorial actually ends here. If I hit PDA, yeah, Robinson Protocol 1 and 2 are the tutorial, and if I expand the second one, everything is done. So next thing up is the storyline missions of Chapter 1, Tales of the Past. And I would activate it, but the mission will be activated by the game. So if I talk to the damage console, it just simply keeps going error, 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 error. So I just deactivate that. So I can also turn things off by pressing Y. So let's actually do this in the daytime. So let's sleep until, well, for 8 hours. And it's still technically night. So there's that. Now I don't believe I'll be getting attacked. Oh, this area comes under attack while I'm away. But just to be on the safe side, of course, safe side would be taking everything with me. So I think it's relatively safe just to put some stuff here. I will take my ammo and all that fun stuff. And I will take one portable constructor with me, just in case. I don't really need the O2 condenser, but I will take the portable heater as well as the tent, just simply because I may need these to survive. In the meantime, let's pop out the motorcycle and drive to the small settlement because it's over a mile away. You have entered unknown faction territory, something, something, something. I didn't finish reading what that says, but basically, I've entered somebody. Okay, that was weird. Anyway, as I was saying, I entered somebody's settlement territory. So if I look at the map, that's not the map. I entered the Talon's territory, and this is some large wreckage here and a resource. Apparently, escape pods within the Talon's territory. That's interesting. But as you can see, it's 51 degrees Fahrenheit, and the character is technically cold because that's outside the temperature threshold for his current suit, which is basically the basic suit that he was running around with. So, Ida, Commander, I found some indices of a nearby tribal village. Added a marker to the appropriate direction near HUD and radar. Follow the indices, which is basically just travel to a small settlement. Alright, of course, it is through a swamp. discovered a new faction, Talon. Right, and I need to approach the settlement. That's some Talon right there. Try not to drive into every tree available. Alright, so I should speak to the chief. I assume he resides in the largest building in the center of the settlement. Of course, I do also need to find the door to the settlement, or the entranceway to the settlement. I keep finding various points of interest, or POIs. And here's the front entrance. So let's pop off and grab the motorbike, because the Talon prefer their less than technologically advanced ways for various reasons. And I think unless I'm friendly with them, they will actually... you say you come from something milky. Is that a symbiotic relationship with something larger? I didn't actually get to finish reading that. Basically, the standard NPCs talk now. So we were once masters of the galaxy. I hear predators in the distance. I'm not supposed to be talking to you. Our chief is our contact with the outside world. And here is the chief. Hello, stranger. May the voice of the past lead you to wisdom. How may we help you? They do not seem to be surprised. We have met others of your Terran tribe a while ago, and yes, our settlement might look primitive to you, but we are not primitives. We have intentionally chosen this life. What's this about other Terrans? You people came here about a year ago. They seem to have fought with the Xerax patrols in orbit, and some of their vessels crashed on this planet. We helped them survive until they were able to escape. So please, pardon our curiosity, but what are you still doing here? How did you manage to escape the Xerax patrols for so long? Clearly, we're not telling him that for us, it's only been 2 days. I know how to survive. Really, that's great to hear. I assume you want to find or get in touch with your people as quickly as possible. I'll send a runner to reach out to our friends so they are informed about your arrival. In the meantime, I'd like to ask you for some help on a pretty unpleasant topic we're not able to solve on our own. Our suffering might sound minuscule to you, but let me explain. Our crop fields are being repeatedly getting attacked by spider-like creatures. Pop into existence around a nearby ancient tower, attacking our workers. They are threatening our settlements, threatening our women and children. We are of course able to fend off these creatures each time they showed up, but it won't end. If anything, the frequency of their appearance is gradually increased in the last weeks. A few days ago, we sent a group of warriors to find out about the reason for this to happen, but they never returned, so did the group of men that were sent in to help them. What we know so far, all seem to have started some months ago. That century-old ancient tower nearby the settlement suddenly came to unholy life. Inside the tower there are several plates with inscriptions. We're not able to understand them completely, but the elders say they were talking about a war, long ago and forgotten as it seems. We only have some child-frightening stories about a threat that is sleeping in the ground. But looking at what is happening around us right now, what is threatening our people in the wasted, irradiated areas of death that suddenly grew into this land? The Elders' Council is highly concerned. Each day this riddle is not solved might turn the tide against us. The Xerax Empire garrison commander on this planet did not listen to us. They did not even recognize the strange kind of unholy terraforming as a threat. And the Polaris scientists do not dare to officially show up here anymore. Polaris officials haven't been seen outside their stations a lot anymore since the Xerax soldiers started to kidnap them to extort the company for ransom. And I can say I'm eager to help, or I can say Xerax Polaris. Strange, you did not yet run into them while you survived on this planet for so long, all 2 days ago. Polaris Megacorp is running their business throughout the planet. Throughout the galaxy, I should say. They're the biggest company in the exploration, mining, and resources business. It has some relationship with the Xerax, but this is a more fragile state of at least not shooting at each other right away. Polaris scientists are very interested in what happens here on this planet and in this system, but as the Xerax activities on and around the planet have increased in the last month, we have rarely seen them. They're still running quite an impressive outpost, the Sanctuary, somewhere on this planet, delivering goods to our settlements, secretly, of course. The Xerax Empire, on the other hand, still runs a full garrison on this planet. This whole system seems to be really important to them, although not important enough that they would really care for their troops' well-being. It seems to be more of an outpost you cannot decide to be sent to, if you know what I mean. Basically backwater where they just send people they don't want dealing with personally. They are understaffed, underpaid, and relying on extremely old equipment, and occasionally come over to borrow some supplies. They are not friends with your people at all, and will shoot at them as soon as they see a Terran in their scopes. Be careful when you run into them. We are confident you will find answers against all these odds. You have survived on this planet for so long. All 2 days of it. You have experience, we need to solve this. So, will you help us out? Sure. You have my help. The ancients be praised. You will find the ancient tower nearby the settlement. Maybe you can find out what happened to our warriors and what is the root cause of this menace. Before you go, please head over to our trader. People have left some equipment behind. Make good use of it. May the voice of the past protect you, my friend. Protect you, friend. I'll find out what is happening. And for some reason, I ended up over there. Okay, does someone have a stomach ache or is... Weird. Anyway, so, this is the trader. Hello, my friend. Chief told me to hand over some equipment they dropped in my junk box a few months ago. A flamethrower and some ammo for him. When did he say that? I literally went from him to you. This is nothing a real Italian word would ever use, but I'm sure you can make good use of it when eliminating the creatures coming from that monument tower. This is an older model, so do not aim too close at the ground or at your feet to avoid harming yourself. May the voice of the past be with you. Thanks a lot. Pick up a health pack, 80 flamethrower fuel, and 1 flamethrower, which you can put in toolbar number 4. I'm hearing a lot of weird sounds. But now the flamethrower is armed. So now I have to go to the ancient tower, 0.8 miles that way. So if I hop back onto the motorbike and take that to the tower. But of course I don't run into any trees. I apparently find a ruined temple. Another small outpost. The ancient tower. And a hut. So we should look for the spider creatures around the basement of the monument. What is that? Right, don't really know, don't really care. Discover new faction, alien. Alright, now I'm hearing weird noises and I have to kill 4 spiders. And the 4 spiders are not the normal spiders, they are these guys. But the flamethrower works relatively well, and if I hit F4, it automatically takes everything from their inventory and puts it in mine, which is probably a good thing, because there's still 2 spiders out there, still alive and well, and will probably try to kill me if I stare at a menu for long enough. And I do not have any... Alright, so that running away from me, so I'm assuming it's neutral or ancestral friendly. So now let's find the inscription plate inside because I killed off all the spiders. And since I am in Talon territory, if I attack something that doesn't threaten me directly, they get displeased. So we'll not be attacking that weird lizard thing. Anyway, we hop right down here, or technically slide down. So find a way inside. Commander, there is no sign of the warriors. On the positive side, while we are here, we should have a closer look at the inscription plates. Maybe there's a hidden basement? Since indicate there's a mechanism behind the wall nearby. It seems to be linked to a device which ought to manage the station's functions. Session, destroy the wall. It should be weak enough that pressing against it will crush it. Then activate the mechanism. Fingers crossed. Still a whole lot of weird sounds. But anyway, just walk into this and it breaks. And then flip the lever to turn everything on. And this ramp goes down. So everything is on. Nothing here for right now. I use the boarding ramp to go down. And then go down this elevator. And I hit this lever to open up the blast door. And I need to start killing infected. Which are these guys. And it gets me stuff including bandages. Not quite certain how much of a good idea it is to use bandages from somebody infected, but it's the only healing item I have, so Make do with what I got. Alright, and the infected will attack me if you notice that one guy that tried to shoot me. I think he missed that, or he took some injuries that I did not realize. You can also access the various barrels around here for extra loot. But it is dark and underground, so I do have access to this flashlight, but while I'm holding the flashlight, I don't have access to my firearms. So it's kind of a trade-off, which I don't really like. Anyway, we go straight down here, and pull back out the shotgun. Grab everything from these sacks, because, I mean, it's not harming the, my relationship with the Talons, because it's not flagged as theirs. And, I won't say no to free stuff, especially plants like, you know, space oranges, blue peppers, well, maybe the space cave. But, the corn I prefer. Let's make another energy bar. And it's actually turning the vegetables into plant protein to make new, oh crap. Okay, that's what I get for not paying attention. That's what we get from missing everything. Okay. More stuff here, more stuff here. And that's technically the same thing. This dead ends. That's the guy I just took out. Already looted that. More here. Actually, I think this is just circles back around. Dragonfly is just part of the terrain looking stuff. Okay, so where do I go from here? Guess this way? Up to level 6 and gain 30 unlock points. It's already empty. Not everything has something in it. And pick up some alien honey and some pumpkins. Much like the infected themselves, I'm not quite certain how smart it is to grab stuff from an infected area, but loot is loot, I guess. Alright, so let's get a slightly longer ranged weapon. I don't even know what some of the stuff is. Money, though. Money's helpful. Does kind of make the universe go around. I mean, technically that's gravity, but it helps buy things. Ladder down. Take the ladder down. Grab more of these. More money. More fiber and whatever that is. More fruits and vegetables. Alright, and there's a whole bunch of random stuff here. And this guy, who is now dead. Also, loot container, which gets me more money, a multi-tool, and some light armor, as well as an EVA booster, which can come in handy later, but in order to actually use the armor, I need an armor station, which I just don't have access to yet. At least I think I need an armor station. Yeah, you must use an armor locker to change armors. So, it'll be beneficial eventually, but for now, I just open the door to the facility and walk in. So, Commander, I suspect this chamber may have been part of a cryo facility which was destroyed ages ago. Must have awoken the station with our investigations, including this inmate. Now, you should try speaking to him. Some might, not most. Anyway, talk to the prisoner. For some reason, it has me look off this direction. I don't even know how to pronounce this. Who are you? Some new Xerax scum? Isn't some high-value target prison with some comfort to X? Oh, you don't look like a Xerax. Obviously not. Then, what are you waiting for? We don't have a lot of time left. The Legacy is seizing this world. The Infinite Life program has failed. The Xerax scum have nothing better to do than arrest all the science officers. Quick, we need to get out of here. Legacy Infinite what? No time for chatter. I am feeling the Legacy ardor growing inside. Oh. Now I remember. My brain already seems to be getting dysfunctional. I am infected. This is a cryo-containment facility. Listen, stranger, whoever you are, you need to get out of here now. The Legacy has infested this place, and me. Xerax will kill anyone who comes in contact with it. I wonder why this prison cell is even still here. I'm certain the self-destruct sequence is already activated. Self-destruct sequence? Stranger, no time for long discussions. The containment system is failing. Tell my people I am Specialist Karhan, Chief Officer of the Talon Xerax Assembly. Out here quick. Power levels going critical, and to run. So I just go up this way, go up this way, go up this way. Not that it really matters, I mean... So, Commander, the explosion must have weakened some of the plates on the walls in the entry room. Check them for cracks. Right. I mean, they put me back down here. I'm assuming that's where I'm supposed to go. And then he's gone. I'm guessing I'm not supposed to go back and look there. Remember from the prior episode... Actually, no, I don't think I actually got to this point in the prior episode. But anyway, back before they made the changes, all that would explode and I'd be able to get access to a whole pile of, like, free steel plates. Of course, if I keep falling down, I'll never get out of here. Up, across, and over. Thank you. Right, I don't think this is the ladder I want. I think I want this one. So up this way, then up this way. Yeah, this is the way that I want. Then up this way. I think I already looted that, but just to be on the safe side. More free plants. And an alien thorn. It sounds like something's still around in here. And then we go up. Take this up. And check the walls. So one of these should allow me to exit out. There we go. Commander, I'm afraid the failing containment system of the facility has led to infecting with the dermal parasite. So just head back to Talon Village. They may be able to cure it. And go back to the settlement, which I would if I wasn't speeding off in the wrong direction. Then I talk to the chief. Before we talk, you see the shaman to cure your injuries. Turn left where you leave this hall, and then go straight ahead. You will notice when you find him. Find the worship place. He's the healer. So, Bifunen, friend. Heard from the chief. Oh, this injury looks serious. Let's not waste time. You need to craft an anti-toxic ointment and apply it. Otherwise, the dome parasite will soon evolve into a lot of endoparasites. Head over to the trader and get me 1 alien tooth, 1 herbal leaves, and 1 plant protein. Understood. And talk to the trader. So, hello friend, you seem to be in bad shape. I have these ingredients, head back to the shaman. In case you need something else, all my trade goods can be found on the list to the right. Select the item from the list, left mouse button. Add the number of items you want to buy or sell in quantity box, lower left. Select the payment method by checking either the cash, money cards, or bank account checkbox in the lower left. Press buy or sell button to initiate the transaction. This basically tells you how all the trading works. Right now I only have 10 cash to my name, so technically I do have some gold coins, but they need to be processed first, I guess. The money cards is all the actual information. I think I have everything. So, there are 3 barrels to your right, next to the cauldron. Access the barrels. Put the ingredients in the barrels, the cauldron linked to the barrels, and use all the resources crafting process from there. Also, put the results of crafting process right there. Now, access the cauldron next to the barrels. So, I have to put in... On the right side, there is a list of food and medical templates you can craft. Use the filters on top of the templates headline to switch through them. Let's craft anti-toxic ointment. So I need the alien tooth, herbal leaves, and plant protein. So plant protein is there. That's alien thorn. Alien tooth is there. And it's flamer fuel. What else do I need? Herbal leaves. Actually forgot. And herbal leaves are there. And then I can build... Last time I accidentally built the antibiotic ornament and had to go hunting for more plant protein because I didn't have enough to build what I actually needed. Not fun, I don't recommend it. So this tells you this teaches you the basics of crafting not with the portable constructor, because every other construction device uses this interface. And just go back to the barrels and grab the ointment. And then I access the inventory and hit shift right mouse button to actually use it. So removing the dermal parasite leaves behind an open wound. Apply a bandage to the injury, then speak to the chief. So now I have open wound issue. I go to stats, it should tell me you have an open wound, the antibiotic pills, bandages, or health pack from a trauma kit. It doesn't actually tell me what it does, but you know what? Let's not let it fester and treat it with a bandage. I think I can take these back. And because I know for a fact I'm going to need the inventory space, let's turn all the plant protein into energy bars. Yeah, let's not use the flamethrower. So I need to speak with the chief. For some reason, it's 104 degrees in this exact spot. I'm guessing the torch has something to do with that. So I'm supposed to talk to you, the chief, someone. Interesting pond. You must not forget the sciences. So anyway, if we talk to the chief, the goddess be praised, you are alive. Were you able to find traces? Were you able to find a trace of the expedition? Tell about the infected ward. Oh, that's not good. This was actually worse than we expected, but thanks to you, we at least have a definitive answer about what happened. Do we? Tell about the inscription plates. Interesting, they say, the legacy once ruled all the worlds of this galaxy. Worlds fell apart and into silence. The Honorable Xerax, with the Infinite Life Program, will be able to end the threat once and for all, and it might never return. Praise the High Command. The inscriptions were damaged. I do believe the damage was done on purpose. The glorious past, the assembly, the legacy, a tale of the past. A child-frightening story about a big threat, emptying the inhabited worlds and ending a whole dynasty, destroying a millennium of peace and prosperity. Scribe prisoner Karhan. The name Karhan is well known in the tales of our tribe. He is known as the first warrior fighting the oppression of the Xerax. But these tales are hundreds of years old. I doubt they are entirely true. Excuse me, friend. These are disturbing revelations. A long-forgotten menace might just raise its dreadful head once again, and seem to be already here and infecting our people. I'll have to speak to the Elders' Council. In the meantime, if you might, the Council would like to encourage you to help us with some other problems. Also, speak to our blacksmith. He may be able to help you with your equipment. May the voice of the past protect you, friend. You as well. Same to you. Alright, so I get Seal, Credibility, Talon Guardians, and like 1,500 relationship points, which increases how everybody in the faction sees you, and the higher it is, the more friendly they are, and the more functionality you get. In fact, not functionality, the more benefits you get. In fact, if we go here, the only one that I know of is the Talon, and my reputation points is currently 19,501 of 24,000. I am listed as friendly, and this right here lists everything, well, in this screen, lists everything that can change it, as well as what you get for each tier. So trading with the faction requires at least neutral reputation. Friendly and odd will get you a price cut when training, and attacking members of each faction lowers it, and killing somebody instantly drops me to unfriendly, but gets me reputation with, well, everybody else. Attacking prey in the territory lowers relationship, but attacking predators increases it. Destroying a blocking device will remove reputation as well. It'll also drop me instantly to neutral. And it will actually cause me to lose relationship with Polaris, but increase it to the pirate clans. Open your container gets me a negative 200 reputation, and instantly drops me to neutral. Spawning a structure, vessel, and territory gets me negative 100, although if I'm honored, that is, if I hold the rank of honored with their faction, that is no longer an issue. And staying in Talon territory with any vessel gets me negative 50 reputation for every 5 real-time minutes, unless the reputation, well, if the reputation is neutral or below. However, since I'm friendly, that's no longer an issue. And mining ore in the Talon territory is -5 unless I'm friendly or better. And staying outside of Talon faction territory gets me 25 points every 5 real-time minutes if reputation is hostile. So that's basically everything in a nutshell. And these are all NPC factions. If I was playing with other people, which I can be, I'm assuming other player factions are listed here, and as well as neutral factions. But I'm playing by myself in offline mode, so there it is. Now, I have 1 inventory space left, and I know what's going to happen, so I need more space. So let's actually plop the motorbike out here, just to get me more space. And talk to the trader for basic resources. Be Fuan, friend. Please have the scramble protocol installed in your suit comm module. This way, we and our allies can reach out to you more easily. Check your PDA frequently for new communications and missions. Chief also wants me to hand you over something my father found a decade ago in a crashed ship. It's an ancient warrior bow, but is modified with some nice extras. I think you will like it when you run into the Xerox Patrol anytime soon. Have fun, friend, and may the voice of the past guide you. Awesome, thanks a lot. And I am updating the mission again. Alright, and cannot pick up it because I have full inventory. Commander, our new Talon friends have just sent us the position of a large crash vessel. They suspect it is one of ours, as some of the survivors came from its direction, they say. There is one caveat, though. We need to take into account what the Talon chief said. The survivors came to the settlement a year ago. This might indicate that the console you found, that the message is not broken, have lost 1 year while being dragged to Andromeda. Yeah, we need to find out more about that. Absolutely. Before going further, I recommend using the damaged comm station to our advantage. Situated in a relatively safe area without the risk of running into Xerox patrols. Where is it? Xerox patrols? You should upgrade it to a real base and gear up a little. What do you think? Now I have two options. I can say good idea and start the base building tutorial, or I say not now and continue on with the storyline. Now, base building does get rather in-depth, so let's actually move on to that tutorial next. And so I have to go back to the comms panel. However, my inventory is once again filled. However, I had some ammo for this special crossbow, and that ammo took up inventory space, which is now no longer being used because I reloaded the crossbow, and I pick up a Talon poster. So I have to get back onto the motorbike and basically drive back to the comm station. Although, if I want to, I continue on the storyline and travel 1.42 miles to the wreckage. But I feel the need to build the base up because, to be honest, back in the old storyline, the next mission was to basically introduce me to the Polaris Corporation. So I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen with this wreckage. So it's probably best if I actually had a base to call my own, especially considering my pockets are now completely filled, and you know, I'm probably going to pick up an extra large amount of loot, I should say. And so I should probably continue on. So I should probably get a dedicated spot to, well, store everything. And to do that, I need a base. So might as well complete the base building tutorial. I mean, I can always build more than one base. If I don't like it here, or it's not useful to me, or, you know, it just gets utterly destroyed due to storyline and /or negligence reasons on my part, I can always go somewhere else. So, other advice that we need to craft in order to make the comm station a real base, we need to find a valuable source of resources, underground deposits. That's how you spot those deposits in caves. You did not yet detect them. Walk around with your survivor tool or drill in your hand, or use a detector and find an iron, copper, or silicon deposit nearby. In case you only get resource marker instead of the resource type being revealed, go closer than 300 meters and scan again, or point at the marker, survivor tool, or drill in your hand. Go to any deposit. So that's next on the I would say hit parade, but alright, so let's actually pack everything into the constructor, just simply because I have absolutely no other place to put it all. I mean, I'd use the multi-tool, but truth be told, the multi-tool requires its own special ammo, which I can't build because it requires promethium pellets, which I don't have access to. So let's put down the second constructor, as well as set back up the small little base camp I had. And so the heater goes there. The tent in woodland camo mode goes there. Where did all my logs go? Huh. Guess I didn't have any spare logs anymore. Just organize my inventory, and then I can continue on and approach. Where is my detector? Did I pack that away? No, it's in slot 7. So basically, I fire this off, and anything that says resource is a resource that I'm probably looking for. Although, Alright, so it wants me to go to this copper one, and it's outside Talon territory, so I should be fine mining it. Of course, I think I'm also friendly with them, and as I said before, being friendly, I don't believe causes you reputation loss. Yeah, none if reputation is friendly or better. So I could technically mine in their territory and be fine. And then once I get enough resources, I can start building this into something that I can actually live and work and function out of. But all of that's going to be another issue for another time, because I'm going to call it here. Everybody stay safe from the plague, and have a good day.